Bayer, Bach, Brackett, Buckner-Webb, Cameron, Davis, Durst, Fulcher, Getty, Guthrie, Hagedorn, Hyder, Hill, Johnson, Keogh, Lacey, Lakey, Lodge, Martin, McKenzie, Mortimer, Nonini, Nuxel, Patrick, Pierce, Rice, Schmidt, Sidaway, Stennett, Thane, Tippett, Fick, Work, Winder, Bear, Brackett, Buckner-Webb, Cameron, Getty, Lodge, Pierce, Sidaway, Work,
Senator Cameron can be added onto the roll call vote. A roll call. And Senator Buckner-Webb. Roll call shows 29 present, 6 absent, excused. Senator Pierce has an excused absence. Quorum being present, Senate will advance the second order of business. Prayer by Chaplain Jim Weberding and Pledge of Allegiance. We'd ask our friends in the gallery to rise and join us in prayer.
Let us pray. Sovereign God, we stand amidst an edifice that symbolizes our national strength and state sovereignty. The marble steps and grand arches stand as reminders of the enduring character of the principles that make our nation great. It is a rare nation indeed that holds power in order to give it back to its citizens. As these fine public servants enjoy the privilege of administering that, of serving that trust today, I pray that you will give them pleasure in the task and success as they preserve, protect, and defend the ideals that nurture liberty. Thank you. Amen.
Now be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by our page Cameron Sears. Cameron.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Senate will advance the third order of business. Reading corrections to journal.
February 28, 2013, the Judiciary and Rules Committee reports that the Senate Journal of the Proceedings of February 27, 2013 was read and approved as corrected. Lodge Chairman.
The report will be filed in the Office of Secretary. Senator Davis.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent to advance to the sixth order of business.
That objection, Senate advance to the sixth order of business. Reports the Standing Committee Senate's at the sixth order of business.
February 28, 2013, the Judiciary and Rules Committee reports that Senate Bill 1124, 1125, 1126, 1127, and Senate Joint Resolution 102 have been correctly printed. Lodge Chairman.
Senate Bills 124, 125 will be referred to the Education Committee. Senate Bills 126, 127, and Senate Joint Resolution 102 will all be referred to the State Affairs Committee.
February 28, 2013, the Judiciary and Rules Committee reports that the Senate amendments to Senate Bill 1018, 1097, 1091, House Bill 66, and Senate Bill 1057 have been correctly printed. Lodge Chairman.
The report will be filed in the office of Secretary.
February 28, 2013, the Judiciary and Rules Committee reports that Senate Bill 1018 as amended, Senate Bill 1097 as amended, Senate Bill 1091 as amended, and Senate Bill 1057 as amended have been correctly engrossed. Lodge Chairman.
Senate Bills 1018 is amended, 1097 is amended, 1091 is amended, and 1057 as amended will refer to the 11th order of business. First reading.
February 27, 2013, the Judiciary and Rules Committee reports that enrolled Senate Bill 1010 was delivered to the Office of the Governor at 11:26 a.m., February 27, 2013. Lodge Chairman.
The report will be filed in the office of Secretary.
February 27, 2013, the Resources and Environment Committee reports out House Bill 93, 128, 129, and House Bill 132 and recommend that they do pass. Pierce, Chairman.
House Bills 93, 128, 129, and 132 will all be referred to the 12th order of business. Second reading.
February 27, 2013, the Judiciary and Rules Committee reports it has had under consideration the gubernatorial appointments of Alicia D. Figueroa as Administrator of the Office of Drug Policy. Her term will continue at the pleasure of the Governor. And Elizabeth Susan Chavez to the Judicial Council, term to expire July 1, 2017. The committee recommends that said appointments be confirmed by the Senate. Lodge Chairman.
Senator Getty will be recognized at this order of business. The report of the Judiciary and Rules Committee on the appointment of Alicia Figueroa and Liz Chavez will be referred to the 10th order of business and held for one legislative day.
February 27, 2013, the Judiciary and Rules Committee reports out House Bill 153 and recommend that it do pass. Lodge Chairman.
House Bill 153 will refer to the 12th order of business. Second reading.
February 27, 2013, the Health and Welfare Committee reports it has had under consideration the gubernatorial appointment of Wendy Jaquette appointed to the State Board of Health and Welfare, term to expire January 1, 2017. The committee recommends that said appointment be confirmed by the Senate. Hyder, Chairman.
The report of the Health and Welfare Committee will refer to the 10th order of business and held for one legislative day.
February 27, 2013, the Health and Welfare Committee reports out House Bill 109 and recommend that it do pass. Hyder, Chairman.
Senator Baer will be recognized present at this order of business, and House Bill 109 will be referred to the 12th order of business. Second reading.
February 27, 2013, the Health and Welfare Committee reports out Senate Bill 1116 with the recommendation that it be referred to the 14th order of business for amendment. Hyder, Chairman.
Without objection, Senate Bill 1116 will be referred to the 14th order of business for amendment.
February 27, 2013, the Education Committee reports out House Bill 163 and recommend that it do pass. Getty, Chairman.
House Bill 163 will be referred to the 12th order of business. Second reading.
There is no further business in the sixth order, Mr. President.
Senator Davis.
Unanimous consent in advance of the 9th order of business.
Without objection, the Senate advances the 9th order of business. Messages from the House. Senate's at the 9th order of business.
February 27, 2013. Mr. President, I transmit herewith House Bill 103, 168, 184, 187, 203, and House Bill 142, which have passed the House. Alexander, Chief Clerk.
House Bills 103, 168, 184, 187, 203, and 142 will be referred to the 11th order of business for introduction.
February 27, 2013. Mr. President, I return herewith Senate Bill 1044, which has passed the House. Alexander, Chief Clerk.
Senate Bill 1044 will be referred to the Judiciary and Rules Committee for enrolling.
February 27, 2013. Mr. President, I return herewith Senate Bill 1028, which has been signed by the Speaker. Alexander, Chief Clerk.
Senator Brackett will be recognized present at this order of business. Senate Bill 1028 will refer to the Judiciary and Rules Committee for transmittal to the Governor.
There is no further business in the ninth order, Mr. President.
Senate would advance 10th order of business. Motion resolution. Senator Davis.
Mr. President, is HCR 5 in the 10th order of business?
It is.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that it hold its place on the calendar for a date certain, that date being Monday, March 4, 2013. May I explain?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, this is part of the Idaho Territorial Sesquicentennial Celebration, and we would like to pick up and have for your consideration and hopefully passage the concurrent resolution on the date. Thanks.
Hearing no objection, House Concurrent Resolution Number 5 will hold its place on the calendar till March 4th.
Mr. President,
Senator McKenzie, what reason do you rise?
I would ask unanimous consent that SCR 117, 118, and 119 hold their place on the calendar for one legislative day. May I explain?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Senators, these are rule rejections that came out of the State Affairs Committee. In particular, SCR 118 and 119 are the Department of Administration ones. They refer to a couple different sections, and one has multiple subsections. I want to make sure that I have the right sections for your debate, so you can consider that. This morning, I just needed a little bit more additional time.
Hearing no objection, House Concurrent Resolution 117, 118, and 119 will hold their place on the calendar. Senator Sitaway will be recognized present at this order of business. Senate now is for final consideration House Concurrent Resolution Number 3. Secretary will read the resolution.
In the House of Representatives, House Concurrent Resolution Number 3 by Education Committee. A concurrent resolution stating findings of the legislature and requesting the State Board of Education commence rulemaking to provide that cursive handwriting.
Mr. President.
Senator Nonini.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask unanimous consent that the further reading of HCR 3 be dispensed with and the journal show that it has been read at length.
Hearing no objection, Senator Nonini is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, Mr. President, I move the adoption of HCR 3.
Senator Lacey.
Mr. President, I second the motion.
Been moved and seconded. The Senate adopt House Concurrent Resolution Number 3. Senator Nonini is recognized to open debate on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President and Senators. This morning, I hope you're not expecting for my debate on HCR 3 to be as eloquent as the good House sponsor, the representative across the rotunda from District 33. I think we probably missed a good show over there when he was presenting this over there, because he's quite an elegant speaker, an elegant debater. But before you today is a concurrent resolution that requests that the State Board of Education commence rulemaking to provide that cursive handwriting be taught in the public schools of the state of Idaho. And I believe that the pages are passing out a couple of letters now that I'd like to bring your attention to. The first one was actually written by Representative Bateman May 7, 1985, 28 years ago, when he served in the House his first time around. And the second letter that the pages have passed out is dated November 9th of 2012, and the good senator from 23? 20, thank you, Mr. President. The good senator from 23 provided me a copy of this morning, and it was, as you'll see, more recently written on November 9th of 2012. And the good representative from 33 was writing this in regards to serving with the senator from 23's father in the House years ago. But I thought it was apropos to this morning's debate, because you can see the handwriting in the cursive himself from the good representative. Now, Senators, the good representative from 33 did prepare for me some notes this morning, and there's 7 pages of handwritten in cursive, so I think you're fine if I start through. Well, Mr. President, I won't start through that, but I just wanted to let the body know that there are 7 pages of handwritten cursive notes for the debate on this morning, and I'll leave it at that, along with quite a thick file. But Mr. President, if you would allow, I would like to cite some chapter titles from a handwriting research book.
Having identified the source, the senator may read.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I'll wrap up the debate with just some chapter titles from this book. Chapter 1, Handwriting is Important. Chapter 2, handwriting and its relationship to cognitive development, reading acquisition, and academic success. Chapter 3, handwriting is a perceptual motor skill. Chapter 4, continuous stroke vertical manuscript supports young readers and writers. Chapter 5, good handwriting, a foundation for proficient writers. Chapter 6, best practices for handwriting instruction. So I think the evidence is there. We heard the evidence presented to us that this is good information. It helps with brain development. And with that, Mr. President, debate's open.
For the debate on House Concurrent Resolution Number 3, Senator Brackett.
Thank you, Mr. President. Debate in favor of House Concurrent Resolution 3.
You have the floor.
As you can see from these examples, cursive writing is truly an art form. Of all the mementos that I have collected and probably will collect in my service, this letter is one that I will keep and cherish.
For the debate,
Mr. President.
Senator Mortimer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, Representative that has written these letters has definitely convinced me that this is something that our students need. And the collaboration of how it brings mind and hand coordination as well as thinking, it's much like the arts. We know that music and in all of its forms and other ways really promotes thinking in our children and in our own respect. And it's one of those things that I have tried to improve. I wasn't good at it, and my parents asked me to work at it, and it's something that I've continued to work on through the years, and I think I've continued to get a little bit better. And so I think this is a discussion that we need to have in our schools and we need to be aware of as citizens. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Further debate? Hearing no further debate, Senator Onini is recognized to close debate.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Senators, for adding those comments in this morning. I'll just finish by saying, since this HCR was presented, I have started to try to use cursive a little bit more, and it's interesting if you don't use it on a regular basis and if you have a tendency to print to then go back, and it is a good exercise for all of us. Mr. President, debate's closed.
Debate being closed, the question is, so House Concurrent Resolution Number 3 passes Senate. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed nay. The ayes have it. The resolution has been adopted and it'll be transmitted. Other correction title. The resolution will be transmitted back to the House. Senate now is for final consideration the report of the Health and Welfare Committee on the appointment of Mark Von Linden to the Hazardous Waste Facility Siting License Application Review Panel. Secretary will read the report.
February 26, 2013, the Health and Welfare Committee reports it has had under consideration the gubernatorial appointment of Mark P. Von Linden to the Hazardous Waste Facility Siting License Application Review Panel, term to expire March 6, 2015. The committee recommends that said appointment be confirmed by the Senate. Hyder, Chairman.
Senator Schmidt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move adoption of the committee report.
Senator Johnson.
Mr. President, I second.
Been moved and seconded that the Senate adopt the report of the Health and Welfare Committee. Senator Schmidt is recognized to open debate on the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Von Linden is eminently qualified for this review panel. He has served as a water quality engineer for the state of Idaho, Public Works Director for the city of Grangeville, city engineer for the city of Lewiston, engineering aide for Tudor Engineering based in Lewiston, and most recently he serves as an engineer for the ATK Corporation in Lewiston, Idaho. He's a graduate of Lewiston High School, graduate civil engineering from the University of Idaho. And so I encourage your consideration for his nomination for this very important panel, which serves us here in the state of Idaho. The Hazardous Waste Facility Siting License Application Review Panel has met 4 times since its establishment in 1990, most recently in 2006, and they did approve the application at that time. Mr. Von Lindern has served on this panel since 2012. They have not met since that time, but they are appropriate folks, and this is an important function that we need to keep available. So I encourage your support for his nomination. Thank you.
Further debate? Hearing no further debate, Senator Schmidt is recognized to close debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Debate is closed.
Debate being closed, question is, will the Senate adopt the report of the Health and Welfare Committee on the appointment of Mark Von Lindern to the Hazardous Waste Facility Siting License Application Review Panel? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The report has been adopted. The governor shall be notified. The Senate now has before it the report of the Health and Welfare Committee on the appointment of Suzanne Budge to the Hazardous Waste Facility Siting License Application Review Panel. Secretary will read the report.
February 26, 2013, the Health and Welfare Committee reports it has had under consideration the gubernatorial appointment of Suzanne Budge to the Hazardous Waste Facility Siting License Application Review Panel, term to expire March 6, 2015. The committee recommends that said appointment be confirmed by the Senate. Hyder, Chairman.
Senator Nuxall.
Yes, Mr. President. I move that the Senate adopt the committee report.
Senator Buckner-Webb.
I second the motion.
Been moved and seconded. The Senate adopt the report of the Health and Welfare Committee. Senator Nuxall is recognized to open debate on the committee report.
Okay. I am pleased to nominate Susan Budge of Boise, an overly and well-qualified candidate to serve as the Hazardous Waste Facility Siting License Application Review Panel appointment. Her term of appointment is 3 years, March 30th of 2012 to March 6, 2015. She has coordinated hazardous and nuclear waste remediation projects for environmental restoration and waste management programs at the INL. She has a varied background in not only nuclear waste, but oil and gas exploration and development along with mining. At present, Susan specializes in public and government affairs in Idaho's capital, working for SBS Associates. Suzanne holds a Master of Science in Geology degree from Colorado School of Mines. She has also authored many geological publications dealing mostly with ore and silver deposits in Nevada. Suzanne grew up as a cowgirl on a ranch in Caribou County. Her dad was a senator on the Transportation Committee and also served as pro tem. Their relative, Alfred Budge, was the longest-serving Idaho Supreme Court justice in the state of Idaho. He was the Bear Lake County prosecutor when Butch Cassidy robbed the Montpelier Bank. They never caught Butch, but he prosecuted some of the gang. He also argued a very preeminent voter rights case to allow the Mormons to vote and serve in office, winning the case. She served on the ski patrol during college and still skis. She has recently traveled to South Africa and China, and I am very pleased to offer this nominee to you. So I urge your support of her. Thanks.
Further debate? Hearing no further debate, Senator Nuxall is recognized to close debate.
Debate is closed.
Debate being closed. The question is, will the Senate adopt the report of the Health and Welfare Committee on the appointment of Suzanne Budge to the Hazardous Waste Facility Siting License Application Review Panel? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The report has been adopted, and the governor will be so notified.
There is no further business in the 10th order, Mr. President.
Advance the 11th order of business. Introduction, first reading of bills. Senator Davis.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that all bills on first reading be read by number, author, and title only in the journal show they've been read at length.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1128 by Finance Committee, an act appropriating monies to the State Independent Living Council for fiscal year 2014. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1129 by Finance Committee, an act appropriating monies to the Office of Species Conservation for fiscal year 2014. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1130 by Finance Committee, an act appropriating monies to the Office of Energy Resources for fiscal year 2014. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1131 by Finance Committee, an act appropriating monies to the Endowment Fund Investment Board for fiscal year 2014. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1132 by Finance Committee, an act appropriating monies to the Department of Fish and Game for fiscal year 2014. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1133 by Judiciary and Rules Committee, an act relating to school security plans, to establish provisions for school safety and security plans, and to provide that certain plans and reports are confidential and exempt from disclosure.
Senate Bills 1128, 1129, 1130, 1131, 1132, and 1133 will all be referred to the Judiciary and Rules Committee for printing.
In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1018, as amended by Judiciary and Rules Committee, an act relating to jury selection and service. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1097, as amended by Education Committee, an act relating to education to establish provisions relating to certain school-age students from outside the state of Idaho. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1091, as amended by Education Committee, an act relating to education to establish provisions relating to an online course portal. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1057, as amended by Education Committee, an act relating to education to establish provisions relating to a district utilizing a portion of instructional staff allowance for visits between the kindergarten teacher and the parents or guardians.
Senate Bills 1018 is amended, 1097 is amended, 1091 is amended, and 1057 is amended will all be referred to the 12th order of business.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 66, as amended in the Senate by Transportation and Defense Committee, an act relating to the Rural Economic Development and Integrated Freight Transportation Program.
House Bill 66 is amended in the Senate will refer to the 12th order of business, second reading.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 103 by Judiciary Rules and Administration Committee, an act relating to fees to remove a certain date. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 168 by Transportation and Defense Committee, an act relating to motor carriers, to define terms and to provide that indemnity agreement in a motor carrier transportation contract is against the public policy of the state. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 184 by Revenue and Taxation Committee, an act relating to income tax, to revise a time period relating to a net operating loss carryback. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 187 by Revenue and Taxation Committee, an act relating to use tax to clarify serving sizes for free tastings of wine and beer. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 203 by Appropriations Committee, an act relating to the appropriation to the Department of Health and Welfare for the divisions of independent councils. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 142 by Health and Welfare Committee, an act relating to dentists to revise provisions relating to a dentist who practices or represents himself as practicing dentistry under any other name than his own true name or under a business name.
House Bill 103 will be referred to the Judiciary and Rules Committee. House Bill 168 will be referred to the Transportation Committee. House Bills 184 and 187 will be referred to the Local Government Taxation Committee. House Bill 203 will refer to the Finance Committee, and House Bill 142 will be referred to the Health and Welfare.
There is no further business in the 11th order, Mr. President.
Advance 12th order of business, second reading of bills. Senate's at the 12th order of business. Senator Davis.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that all bills on second reading be read by number and author only in the general show. They've been read at length.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1120 by Finance Committee. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1082 by Transportation Committee. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 9 by Business Committee. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 11 by Business Committee. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 28 by Business Committee. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 7 by Business Committee. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 8 by Business Committee. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 10 by Business Committee. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1114 by Judiciary and Rules Committee. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 86 by Revenue and Taxation Committee. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 137 by Local Government Committee. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1107 by State Affairs Committee. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1098 by Education Committee.
Senate Bills 1120 and 1082. House Bills number 9, 11, 28, 7, 8, and 10. Senate Bill 1114, House Bill 1086 and 137, Senate Bills 1107, 1098 will all be referred to the 13th order of business, third reading calendar.
There is no further business in the 12th order, Mr. President.
Senate advance 13th order of business, third reading of bills. Senate's at the 13th order of business has for final consideration House Bill 122. The Secretary will read the bill.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 122 by Appropriations Committee, an act appropriating additional monies to the Soil and Water Conservation Commission.
Mr. President.
Senator Thane.
I'd ask unanimous consent that further reading of House Bill 122 be dispensed with, and the journal show that it has been read the third time at length, section by section, and placed before the Senate for final consideration.
Hearing no objection, Senator Thain is recognized to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, this is a supplemental appropriations bill for the Idaho Soil and Water Conservation Commission for the amount of $20,000 from federal funds. In the fall of 2011, the USDA Natural Resource Conservation Service awarded Idaho Soil and Water Conservation Commission a contract. The contract was to match up to 50% of actual personnel expenses related to farm bill projects for which the Conservation Commission staff provided technical assistance. The total grant was for $80,000. The Division of Financial Management approved spending authority in the amount of $20,000 for FY 2012, and the legislature approved $60,000 for FY 2013. However, the Commission failed to complete the needed paperwork before the end of fiscal year 2012, and the non-cognizable spending authority expired. This bill is needed for the one-time appropriations to expend the remainder of the federal award. The debate is open.
Further debate? Hearing no further debate, Senator Thain is recognized to close debate.
The debate is closed.
Debate being closed, the question is, so House Bill 122 passes the Senate. The Secretary will call the roll.
Bear. Bayer. Bach. Brackett. Buckner-Webb. Cameron. Davis. Durst. Fulcher. Getty. Guthrie. Hagedorn. Hyder. Hill. Johnson. Keogh. Lacey. Lakey. Lodge. Martin. McKenzie. Mortimer. Nonini. Nuxel. Patrick. Pierce. Rice. Schmidt. Sidaway. Stennett. Thane. Tippett. Fick. Work. Winder. Davis. Hill. Lodge. Pierce.
Roll call shows 32 present, 3 absent. A majority haven't voted in the, excuse me. Roll call shows 32 ayes, no nays, 3 absent excused. A majority haven't voted in the affirmative. House Bill 122 has passed the Senate. Their correction title. Hearing none, the title is approved. House Bill 122 will be returned to the House. Senate now is for final consideration. House Bill 123, the Secretary will read the bill.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 123 by Appropriations Committee, an act appropriating additional monies to the Lava Hot Springs Foundation for fiscal year 2013.
Mr. President.
Senator Lacey.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that further reading of House Bill 123 be dispensed with, and the journal show it has been read the third time at length, section by section, and placed before the Senate for final consideration.
Hearing no objections, Senator Lacey is recognized to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good senators. This is a fiscal year 2013 supplemental appropriation for the Lava Hot Springs Foundation in the amount of $140,000 from dedicated user fees. The funding is provided to purchase an advanced disinfection system and in-pool toys for the new kiddie pool being built at the Olympic Swimming Complex in Lava Hot Springs. Last session, the legislature approved $1.4 million for the building of the addition and the kiddie pool. Funding for the ultraviolet light disinfection system and pool toys were diverted from the original project to pay for a sprinkler system. The pool is equipped with the standard filtration and disinfection systems as required by the health code. However, the $25,000 ultraviolet light disinfection system will provide additional protection from parasitic outbreaks that are becoming more common throughout the swimming pool industry. Wading pool toys include a hydroslide, spin umbrella, spinning tray, mushroom maze, and deck jets. The Lava Hot Springs Foundation is a self-sustaining operation with all revenues generated from hot baths and swimming pool entrance fees, rentals, and lease agreements. There are no general funds in this budget. The kiddie pool is under construction, and this appropriation is needed to ensure completion of the project in time for a May opening. And debate is open, Mr. President.
Further debate on the kiddie pool? Hearing no further debate, Senator Lacey is recognized to close debate.
Debate is closed. Thank
Debate
you.
being closed. The question is, House Bill 123 passed the Senate. Senator Fulcher.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the roll call vote using the final passage of House Bill 122 now be used in the final passage of House Bill 123.
Hearing no objection, roll call shows 32 ayes, no nays, 3 absent, excused. Majority haven't voted in the affirmative. House Bill 123 passed the Senate. The correction of the title. Hearing none, the title is approved. House Bill 123 will be returned to the House. Senate now has for final consideration House Bill 48. Secretary will read the bill.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill Number 48 by Resources and Conservation Committee, an act relating to injection wells to provide that the Director of the Department of Water Resources shall require good and sufficient...
Mr. President.
Senator Sidaway.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that further reading of House Bill 48 be dispensed with, and the journal show it's been read the third time at length, section by section, and is now before the Senate for proper consideration.
Hearing no objection, Senator Sidaway is recognized to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good senators, this bill has to do with Class II injection wells and the cost of decommissioning those wells. As you can probably remember from last year's oil and gas bills, that a Class II injection well is a well that's primarily directed towards the gas and oil industry in putting, and an injection well is putting fluids back into the ground, usually at a depth that, not usually, but always at a depth that is below any aquifer contamination. This bill sets the bonding requirements that are necessary to maintain the decommissioning of those wells. The bonding requirement will be $10,000 per well with an additional $1 per foot. So when the industry is finished taking the gas or oil from the earth, and that well has been perhaps used to inject fluids, or another well has been used to inject fluids into that same cavity, then that permit is required. And when the oil is all gone and everything's taken out, then you have to replug that hole. And this money will be used to guarantee that the plugging of that hole will be done. And it is also held under the scrutiny of the Department of Water Resources, so that when that well is completely decommissioned, that everything that would affect groundwater or surface water has been sealed off, that there can be no effect. And this $10,000 bond with the $1 per foot was agreed on through a negotiated rulemaking held with the Department of Water Resources, the Idaho Groundwater Users Association, the Idaho Water Users Association, and the Idaho Conservation League. With that, Mr. President, debate is open.
For the debate. Hearing no further debate, Senator Sidaway is recognized to close debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Debate is closed.
Debate being closed, the question is, shall House Bill 48 pass? The Senate Secretary will call the roll.
Baer. Aye. Bayer. Aye. Bach. Brackett. Aye. Buckner-Webb. Aye. Cameron. Aye. Davis. Durst. Fulcher. Aye. Getty. Aye. Guthrie. Aye. Hagedorn. Aye. Hyder. Aye. Hill. Johnson. Aye. Keogh. Aye. Lacey. Aye. Lakey. Aye. Lodge. Martin. Aye. McKenzie. Aye. Mortimer. Aye. Nonini. Aye. Nuxel. Aye. Patrick. Aye. Pierce. Rice. Aye. Schmidt. Aye. Sidaway.
Aye.
Stennett. Aye. Thane. Aye. Tibbetts. Aye. Vick. Aye. Work. Aye. Winder. Aye. Bach. Aye. Davis. Aye. Hill. Lodge, Pierce,
Roll call shows 31 ayes, 1 nay, 3 absent, excused. Majority having voted in the affirmative. House Bill 48 is passed the Senate. The corrections title. Hearing none, the title is approved. House Bill 48 will be returned to the House. Senate now is for final consideration. House Bill 49. The Secretary will read the bill.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 49 by Resources and Conservation Committee, an act relating to injection wells to define Class II injection well.
Mr. President.
Senator Baer.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent the further reading of House Bill 49 to be dispensed with, and that the journals show that it has been read at length for a third time, section by section, and is before the Senate for final consideration.
Hearing no objection, Senator Baer is recognized to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill should have actually come before Senator Sidaway's bill. I don't know how the House messed that, how the body across the rotunda got that backwards, but it happened. The Department of Water Resources is the lead agency for all well drilling and inspecting in the state of Idaho. This bill comes from the Department of Water Resources. It, first of all, does two things, basically. It provides a definition for what a Class II injection well is, and it's defined as a deep well. These wells are normally at a minimum of 3,000 feet. In some parts of the nation, they go as deep as 12,000 feet. So these are deep wells that are used for natural gas and oil production. The definition is of an injection well specifically well, let me back up a little bit. When a normal producing well produces oil and gas, there are always contaminants therein, and those contaminants need to be cleaned out of both the gas and the oil. And as that process happens, there are fluids that need to be processed. And they can either be processed at great expense by hauling them to a recycling place and have them be cleaned up, or they can be injected back down into the earth, into the same zone from which they're pumped. And that is the definition, basically, of an injection well, a well that is used to place those contaminants back down into the ground. They can also be, however, to enhance recovery of gas and oil by drilling wells that are reasonably close. You can pressurize the injection well, which causes the oil and the gas to flow over up to the other hole, and it produces and enhances the natural gas and oil well itself. The last thing that injection wells are used for is storage. Particularly in the eastern part of the United States, gas and oil, or particularly natural gas, are pumped out of the ground and processed and then pumped back down into an injection well and stored, sometimes for years and years and years at a time before a need is ever arises that natural gas is then pumped out and used. The second thing that the bill does, after providing definition, is it provides the department with $2,500 drilling fee that will be assessed on each and every injection well that is drilled. And that's to cover costs of the inspections that the department does to make sure that our water is protected, that the well casings are safe and sound, that the cement is poured properly, so that we don't have accidents in Idaho. And those are the two things that the bill does. So, Mr. President, with that, debate is open.
Further debate? Hearing no further debate, Senator Baer is recognized to close debate.
Mr. President, thank you. Debate is closed.
Debate being closed. Question is, so House Bill 49 passed the Senate. Senator Fulcher.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the roll call vote used for the final passage of House Bill 122 now be used for the final passage of House Bill 49.
Hearing no objection, roll call shows 32 ayes, no nays, 3 absent, excused. Majority haven't voted in the affirmative. House Bill 49 is passed the Senate. Are there corrections to titles? Hearing none, the titles approved. The titles approved, and House Bill 49 will be returned to the House. Senate now has for final consideration House Bill 166. Secretary will read the bill.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 166 by Appropriations Committee, an act relating to the Idaho National Guard Youth Challenge Program, appropriating additional monies to the Military Division for the Federal State Agreements Program for fiscal year.
Mr. President.
Senator Nuxall.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask unanimous consent that further reading of House Bill 166 be dispensed with and that the journal show it has been read the third time at length, section by section, and placed before the Senate for final consideration.
Hearing no objections, Senator Nuxall is recognized to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a fiscal year 2013 supplemental appropriation to the Military Division for the Idaho National Guard Youth Challenge Program. The bill appropriates $970,300 from dedicated funds and $421,800 from federal funds for a total of $1,392,100. It also authorized an additional 5 full-time equivalent positions that will be combined with another 3 vacant positions for a total of 8. Of the $970,300 from dedicated funds, $829,700 is provided for facility improvements and modular student housing. The remaining $140,600 is provided for federal matching funds of $421,800 to cover salaries, utilities, and operational supplies during the startup phase of this new program. The match rate is calculated at 75% federal and 25% non-federal. Dedicated funds will come from private donations and from average daily attendance monies that will flow through the local school district and made available once the school begins operation in January of 2014. This alternative school located in Pierce, Idaho is a youth intervention program that will provide a structured, disciplined 22-week residential phase focusing on education and practical life skills. It is followed by a 12-month post-residential phase involving skilled and trained mentors supporting graduates engaged in positive, durable placement. Eligible male and female candidates must be Idaho residents, high school dropouts between 16 to 18 years of age, unemployed, drug-free, not on parole, and have no felony convictions. The debate is open.
Further debate? Hearing no further debate, Senator Nuxall is recognized to close debate.
Debate is closed. Thank you.
Debate being closed. Question is, so House Bill 166 passed. Senate Secretary will call the roll.
Baer. Aye. Bayer. Aye. Bach. Aye. Brackett. Aye. Buckner-Webb. Aye. Cameron. Davis. Durst. Fulcher. Getty. Aye. Guthrie. Hagedorn. Aye. Hyder. Aye. Hill. Johnson. Keogh. Lacey. Lakey. Lodge. Martin. McKenzie. Mortimer. Nonini. Nuxall. Patrick. Pierce. Rice. Schmidt. Sidaway. Stennett. Thane. Tibbetts. Fick. Work. Winder. Davis. Durst. Fulcher. Lodge. Nonini. Pierce. Work.
Roll call shows 33 ayes, no nays, 2 absent. Excused. Majority haven't voted in the affirmative. House Bill 166 passed Senate. The corrections title. Hearing none, the title is approved, and House Bill 166 will be returned to the House. The Senate now has for final consideration House Bill 174. The Secretary will read the bill.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 174 by Appropriations Committee. An act appropriating additional monies to the Department of Water Resources for fiscal year 2013.
Mr. President.
Senator Lacey.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that further reading of House Bill 174 be dispensed with, and the journal show it has been read the third time at length, section by section, and placed before the Senate for final consideration.
Hearing no objection, Senator Lacey is recognized to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a supplemental appropriation bill to the Department of Water Resources for fiscal year 2013 in the amount of $435,000 from dedicated funds. The bill provides $400,000 from the Water Administration Fund to cover increased activity in the Water Supply Bank. The department operates a water supply bank on behalf of the Water Resources Board. The Water Supply Bank leases water rights from water right owners and rents water rights to water right users. Rental fees are deposited into the Water Administration Fund. 90% of the fees are paid to the water right owners. The other 10% is used for administrative costs. In recent years, water right supply bank activities have increased, resulting in an increase in payments to water right owners. Current year payments are expected to exceed $500,000, but the current budget only has a little over $200,000 earmarked for this purpose. The $400 appropriation is ongoing and built into the base for the next year. This bill also provides an appropriation of $35,000 from the Water Resources Adjudication Fund. There is a balance of $71,000 from fees paid by water users in the Snake River Basin adjudication. The appropriation will free up a like amount of general fund monies to be used to fill a shortage in the Northern Idaho adjudication budget. This $35,000 appropriation is ongoing for 2 years and will use the Snake River Basin adjudication fees for their intended purpose. And with that, the debate is closed. Open for debate, sorry.
Further debate? Hearing no further debate, Senator Lacey is recognized to close debate.
Okay. Now the debate is closed. Thank you.
Debate being closed, question is to House Bill 174 pass the Senate. Senator Fulcher.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the roll call vote used for the final passage of House Bill 166 now be used for the final passage of House Bill 174.
Hearing no objection, roll call shows 33 ayes, no nays, 2 absent, excused. Majority haven't voted in the affirmative. House Bill 174 is passed the Senate. Their correction to title. Hearing none, title is approved, and House Bill 174 will be returned to the House. Send to House for final consideration. House Bill 180. Secretary will read the bill.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 180 by Appropriations Committee, an act appropriating additional monies to the Department of Health and Welfare for the Division of Welfare for fiscal year 2013, providing legislative intent.
Senator Keogh.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that further reading of the bill be dispensed with and that the journal show it's been read the third time at length, section by section, and placed before the Senate for final consideration.
Hearing no objection, Senator Keogh is recognized to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. And Senators, for your consideration this morning in House Bill 180 is a fiscal year 2013 supplemental for the Division of Welfare in the Department of Health and Welfare. It includes 2 items for the division, as well as legislative intent language pertaining to one of the enhancements. First is Medicaid readiness. This project includes the pre-implementation activities necessary to prepare for changes to the Medicaid program under the Affordable Care Act. This project is only for the mandatory changes under the law, not the optional expansion. The increase is for $6,320,000 in federal funds. The purpose is to reprogram the rules engine for the Idaho Benefits Eligibility System, also known as IBES, which is used to process Medicaid applications and screen for eligibility. The Affordable Care Act requires all states to use a standard eligibility methodology called Modified Adjusted Gross Income, or MAGI. MAGI is a major departure from the methodology currently in place, and therefore a full reprogramming is required in order to calculate eligibility as required by law, starting in 2014. Medicaid readiness is a 3-year project spanning fiscal years 2012 to 2014. The full amount of the project is one time and matched at a 90% federal share, with the state, of course, doing the other 10%. For budgeting purposes, the full increase tracks as federal due to the source of the state's share. The department plans to use $632,000 of federal food stamp performance bonus payments for the non-federal contribution. Although the performance bonus money tracks as federal, as reflected on the statement of purpose, states are granted flexibility in the use of these funds, allowing states to use performance bonus payments as non-federal match or for other purposes. You will see in Section 2 of the bill legislative intent that clarifies that the Medicaid readiness funding is intended to support only the mandatory changes in the Medicaid program under the Affordable Care Act. It recognizes the fact that the state's decision relating to the optional Medicaid expansion is an entirely separate discussion and will be handled accordingly. Second in this budget bill is grocery tax credit donations. This item is for $831,900 of dedicated fund spending authority. to spend grocery tax credit donations provided by Idaho taxpayers on their tax returns. The statute allows the donation specifically stipulates that the state will use donated funds to help low-income Idahoans pay home energy costs. The funding consists of $605,200 one time and $226,700 ongoing. And with that, Mr. President, debate is open.
The debate. Hearing no further debate, Senator Keough is recognized to close debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Debate is closed.
Being closed. Question is, so House Bill 180 passes the Senate. Secretary will call the roll.
Bear. Bayer. Bach. Brackett. Buckner-Webb. Cameron. Davis. Durst. Fulcher. Getty. Guthrie. Hagedorn. Hyder. Hill. Johnson. Keough. Lacey. Lakey. Lodge. Martin. McKenzie. Mortimer. Nonini. Nuxel. Patrick. Pierce. Rice. Schmidt. Sidaway. Stennett. Thane. Tippett.
Mr. President,
Senator Thane,
not having debated explain my vote.
you have 60 seconds.
Thank you very much. In the first couple of weeks of this session, I spent some time on this particular issue trying to understand the change in the Magi rules, and I will support this because we have correspondence with the federal government saying that these Magi rule changes will not increase in and of themselves the total Medicaid enrollment. They wanted that to be what they call unbiased. So for that reason, I'll be supporting the bill. Thank you.
Senator Thane will be recorded as voting aye.
Tippett. Vick. Work. Winder. Davis. Durst. Hill. Lodge. McKenzie. Nonini. Pierce. Rice. Winder.
Senator Winder.
Thank you. 60 seconds.
You have 60 seconds.
Mr. President, the Senator votes no.
Senator
Or aye,
Winder.
excuse me. Senator votes aye.
Senator Winder will be recorded as voting aye. Senator Hill? Senator McKenzie? Both Senators Hill and McKenzie will be recorded as voting aye. Roll call shows 31 ayes, 2 nays, 2 absent, excused. Majority haven't voted affirmative. House Bill 180 is passed the Senate. The corrections title. Hearing none, the title is approved, and House Bill 180 will be returned to the House. Senator Howe has for final consideration House Bill 82. The Secretary will read the bill.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 82 by Education Committee, an act relating to workers' compensation, to revise a definition, to provide that certain work experience students shall be covered by the
Mr.
Idaho...
President,
Senator Thane.
I'd ask unanimous consent that House Bill 82, reading House Bill 82 be dispensed with, and journals show that it's been read the third time at length, section by section, placed before the Senate for final consideration.
Hearing no objection, Senator Thane is recognized to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill has to do with workers' compensation, and the statement of purpose is fairly plain. It says this proposed legislation would align the workers' compensation laws in the state so that post-secondary students receive the same workers' compensation coverage that K-12 students receive while completing work experience credit hours. Under current Idaho law, post-secondary students receiving education credits for completing a work experience project are not covered under the University or college workers' compensation policy with the state insurance fund. And Idaho code does not allow the universities or colleges to purchase separate private workers' compensation policies for these students. So this bill takes care of that situation, so those students are covered under workers' comp. And with that, Mr. President, the debate is open.
For the debate, Senator Getty.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just briefly to weigh in, because I do sit on the board of the State Insurance Fund, understand that these people that are doing work experience and not being paid will automatically be picked up. There's no payroll component. So loss experience is going to increase the rates on that particular class of students or employees. Ultimately, those institutions are going to pay for it one way or another, and we just need to be aware of that when we vote. And I will support it.
For the debate. Hearing no further debate, Senator Thane is recognized to close debate.
Thank you. And just to point out that the universities, one of the universities did bring this bill, so they were supportive of it. Debate is closed.
Debate being closed. Question is, so House Bill 82 passed the Senate. Senator Fulcher.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the final roll call vote used in the passage of House Bill 166 now be used for the final passage of House Bill 82.
Hearing no objection, roll call shows 33 ayes, no nays, 2 absent, excused. Majority haven't voted affirmative. House Bill 82 has passed the Senate. Are there corrections to the title? Hearing none, the title is approved, and House Bill 82 will be returned to the House. Senator Winder.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask unanimous consent that House Bill 89 hold its place on the calendar. May I explain?
You may, Senator.
The sponsor is off the floor at this time.
Hearing no objection, House Bill 89 will hold its place on the calendar. Senate now is for final consideration. House Bill 42, the Secretary will read the bill.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 42 by State Affairs Committee, an act relating to counties, to revise the boundary descriptions of Gooding County and Jerome County, to revise the boundary descriptions of Lincoln County and Minidoka County, and to make technical corrections, and declaring an emergency. Be it enacted by the Legislature of the State of Idaho, Section 1.
Mr. President.
Senator Patrick.
Mr. President, I ask for unanimous consent to further reading of Senate Bill 42, or House Bill 42, be dispensed with, and journals show the bill has been read third time in length, section by section, and placed before the Senate for final consideration.
No objections. Senator Patrick's recognized to open debate.
I think the SOP explains it pretty well. However, in the session laws in 1913 and 1919, they talked about splitting off Gooding, Minidoka, and and Jerome from Lincoln County. And they made this adjustment in session law, and that's what they've used ever since. However, it was never put into code. And so just as a cleanup for the tax examiners and others, it should be in code. This doesn't in any way affect any taxing district or school district. It's just simply a cleanup language to allow for the proper language to be put into code. Thank you.
Debate being open. Is there further debate? Senator Stinnett.
Mr. President, to debate the bill.
You have the floor.
Thank you, Senators. This is actually a little fun factoid because the school children in my district were wondering why Blaine County has a tail, and it doesn't belong to Minidoka or it doesn't belong to Lincoln. And so right as this bill was coming through, I was doing research because there's not a lot of information about why our counties were, our boundaries were evolved the way they did. So a nice little note is Blaine had very little population or revenue north, and so for the railroads and for the power lines and infrastructure, the little tail was given to Blaine. But in the process, there was a really hard-fought fight between the boundaries of Blaine and Lincoln counties. And in the process, when the borders were created, they were unassembled and reassembled several times. And it is no wonder, given all of the breadth and length, that we have challenges with our boundary lines at this point. But this is a far more civil debate than it sounded like it happened at the beginning of statehood. And I support this bill. Thank you.
For the debate. Hearing no further debate, Senator Patrick's recognized to close debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Debate is closed.
Debate being closed. Question is, so House Bill 42 passed the Senate. Senator Fulcher.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that a roll call vote using the final passage of House Bill 166 now be used in the final passage of House Bill 42.
Hearing no objection, roll call shows 33 ayes, no nays, 2 absent, excused. Majority haven't voted in the affirmative. House Bill 42 is passed the Senate. The corrections title. Hearing none, the title is approved. House Bill 42 will be returned to the House. Senate now is for final consideration. House Bill 47. The Secretary will read the bill.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 47 by Resources and Conservation Committee, an act relating to water masters to authorize the Director of the Department of Water Resources to appoint a successor water
Mr.
master.
President.
Senator Sidaway.
Mr. President, I ask for the reading of House Bill 42 be dispensed with, and the Journal show it's been read a third time at length.
Senator, I think it's House Bill 47.
47?
Okay.
47. That's what happens when you get old. Be dispensed with, and the Journal show it's been read a third time at length, section by section, is now properly before the Senate for final consideration.
Hearing no objections, so ordered. Senator Sidaway is recognized. Open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good senators, this bill has to do with authorizing the Director of Water Resources to appoint a new water master in the event that something happens, and usually that something happens is that water master either resigns or retires or gets ill and isn't physically able to, or in a worst case actually dies while being the water master. And in some districts there is an advisory committee, and if those districts that have that advisory committee so wish, they can call a meeting and nominate someone to fill that position. And in those districts where there is not an advisory committee, the director may just appoint a water master. And it's pretty clean cut, this bill, and that's what it does. So with that, Mr. President, debate is open.
Further debate? Hearing no further debate, Senator Sidaway is recognized to close debate.
Thank you. Debate is closed.
Debate being closed. The question is, so House Bill 47 passed the Senate. Senator Fulcher.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the roll call vote used in the final passage of House Bill 166 now be used in the final passage of House Bill 47.
Hearing no objection, roll call shows 33 ayes, no nays, 2 absent, excused. Majority haven't voted in the affirmative. House Bill 47 is passed the Senate. The correction title. Hearing none, the title is approved. House Bill 47 will be returned to the House. Senate now has for final consideration House Bill 50. The Secretary will read the bill.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 50 by Resources and Conservation Committee, an act relating to hydropower to revise provisions
Mr. President.
Senator Baer.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that further reading of House Bill 50 be dispensed with. The Journal show that it's been read at length a third time, section by section, and is before the Senate for final consideration.
Hearing no objection, Senator Baer is recognized to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill deals with a very, very narrow class of water rights, hydropower water rights. Currently, in Idaho Code, the director is authorized to limit hydropower water rights to a specific term or set of terms. He does this by what is called adding a term condition to a water right. Those water rights, however, do not set a fixed date when the water right expires. And the director may currently review that water right to determine if it's still in the best public interest. In 2011, though, the Supreme Court ruled, and didn't rule, but suggested in some notes that the department ought to set a fixed termination date. So the department and water users considered that, and the problem with setting a fixed termination date is that at the end of that 30-year term or 20-year term or whatever date that is, the water right holder would have to go back and start brand new from ground level with an application for a water right, and it just seems to be unnecessary. So House Bill 50 tries its best, and I think it's a good bill that addresses both that need for a fixed date as well as allowing the director discretion to not have to start from ground zero at the end of the term. It allows the water This allows the water right to continue on at the end of the 30-year term or 20-year term or whatever it was, but also reserves the right to the director to be able to review that water right if needed to find out if it's in the best public interest. With that, Mr. President, debate is open.
Further debate? Hearing no further debate, Senator Baer is recognized to close debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill was well vetted with the Idaho Power attorneys, with the water users, and all the groups involved. With that, Mr. President, debate is closed.
Debate being closed. The question is, shall House Bill 50 pass? Senate Secretary will call the roll.
Baer. Baer. Bach. Brackett. Buckner-Webb. Cameron. Davis. Durst. Fulcher. Getty. Guthrie. Hagedorn. Hyder. Hill. Johnson. Keogh. Lacey. Lakey. Lodge. Martin. McKenzie. Mortimer. Nonini. Nuxel. Patrick. Pierce. Rice. Schmidt. Sidaway. Stennett. Thane. Tippett. Fick. Work. Winder. Bayer. Bach. Fulcher. Pierce.
Roll call shows 34 ayes, no nays, one absent, excused. Majority haven't voted in the affirmative. House Bill 50 is passed the Senate. The correction title, hearing none, the title is approved. House Bill 50 will be returned to the House.
President.
Senator Davis.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent the Senate return to and pick up House Bill 89. May I explain?
You may.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good senators, the floor sponsor is anxious to present it and present it now.
Hearing no objection, the Senate has, for final consideration, House Bill 89. Secretary will read the bill.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 89 by Health and Welfare Committee, an act relating...
Mr. President.
Senator Lodge.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask unanimous consent that further reading of House Bill 89 be dispensed with in the Journal show. It has been read for the third time at length, section by section, and placed before the Senate for final consideration.
Hearing no objection, Senator Lodge is recognized to open debate.
Mr. President, it's been kind of a busy morning this morning because I've been judging the Youth of the Year contestants up here, and so they know what I was doing just about 2 minutes ago, and now I'm down here on the floor, so as you can multitask. Good senators, this bill is really simple, and what it does is it takes out the Board of Physician Assistants from the Percy Fund. And this is the very last of our boards to make this move. And with that explanation, Mr. President, debate is closed. Debate is open.
Debate being open, is there further debate? Evidently not. Senator Lodge, you're recognized to close debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Debate is closed.
Debate being closed. The question is, so House Bill 89 passed Senate. Senator Winder.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask unanimous consent the roll call vote used for the passage of House Bill 50 be now used for the passage of House Bill 89.
Hearing no objection, roll call shows 34 ayes, no nays, one absent, excused. Majority haven't voted in the affirmative. House Bill 89 is passed the Senate. The correction title. Hearing none, the title is approved, and House Bill 89 will be transmitted back to the House.
There is no further business in the 13th order, Mr. President.
Senator Davis.
I ask unanimous consent to advance to the 15th order of business.
Without objection, Senate advance 15th order of business. Miscellaneous business and adjournment. Senate's at the 15th order of business. Senator Davis.
Mr. President, personal privilege, if I may.
You may.
Mr. President, senators, we will not be having an afternoon session today. Man, you guys are good workers. We do have, I think, about 14 bills coming over from the second reading calendar. Oh, I forgot to reorder those bills. We're going to go back to the 13th here in a moment. We're going to reorder the bills just so that I can put those Senate bills at the top and we can clean those out just in case tomorrow we get high-centered on things. With Monday being the transmittal date, I'd like to do that. Once we do reorder those bills, we'll return to the 15th order of business. And we will be coming in tomorrow at 10 a.m. Should we be done early tomorrow, we'll just cut everybody loose and wish you safety in travel and have a good weekend. Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent, Senate return to the 13th order of business.
Objection. Senate return to the 13th order of business. Senate's at the 13th order of business. Senator Davis.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent bills in the 13th order be reordered, placing Senate bills at the top, followed by House bills.
Hearing no objection, the calendar will be so reordered. Senator Davis.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent, Senate return to the 15th order of business.
Objection. Senate return to the 15th order of business. Senate's at the 15th order of business. Miscellaneous business and adjournment. Senator Davis.
Mr. President, Senators, prior to adjournment, I ask if there are introductions or announcements.
Senator Lodge.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good senators, in our gallery today we have the Boys and Girls Clubs of Idaho candidates for Youth of the Year, and their names are Olivia Border. Olivia, if you'd please stand. She's from Meridian. Fernando Chadez. Fernando from Nampa. Elizabeth Fernandez from Lapaway. Marissa Garcia from Twin Falls, and Hope Newman from Post Falls. And we also have with us, and Emily, I don't have your last name, but Emily is the Military Youth of the Year from Mountain Home. And even though we weren't judging her this morning, she did come through the interviews, and she is spectacular, really well prepared for going through the military side of the Youth of the Year competition. And these youth will be giving their speeches today at noon at the Rose Room. And so we hope that you'll be able to have an opportunity to go over there. I would also like to thank all the chaperones and all the folks from the Boys and Girls Club who are here to support these fine young Americans. And so would you please help us make them welcome?
Emily Stevens from Mountain Home. Further announcements. Senator Durst.
Mr. President, announcement.
You have the floor.
So, Mr. President, as the senator from 14 mentioned yesterday, we did have the go-kart competition yesterday, and I wanted to be able to provide some outcomes and results for the body to consider. The House, the Chamber across the Rotunda, was able to retain the trophy. The House member from District 14 was the winner of that competition, followed up by the House member from District 20. But I can say that the senator from 18 was the fastest in the Senate, and our Paige Cameron was the fastest Paige. But one observation is that with Ada County taking the top 3 spots, I'm concerned about what that means for the rest of the state with go-kart racing. And so I'd encourage next year, for those of you from outside of Ada County, to take a couple extra laps before session starts and maybe show up and provide us some competition. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Senator Mortimer.
Just to respond for a moment, I accept the challenge. I wasn't able to attend last night, but last year I was able to represent the Senate very well. And I'm just sorry, I really felt like some others needed the chance this year. But I will accept the challenge next year.
Senator Hagedorn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to inform the body that I attended last night. I got there a little bit late. There were quite a number of folks from the body across the Rotunda that were there much earlier. And as those that were there can attest, I was able to make one lap before my car mysteriously broke down. I wouldn't infer that someone might have been nefarious with some of my opportunity, but I made one lap and then that was it. So I think we are going to have to maybe make a little extra effort next year and watch each other's back in cars and those kinds of things, because the body across the way was pretty aggressive last night. And I think we can have that same amount of aggressiveness here next year. So I encourage that as well. Thank you.
Further track reports. Senator Winder.
For just an announcement, And a reminder.
You have the floor.
President. Thank you. Just a reminder, anyone that wants tickets to the boys basketball state tournament, we do have them available, and the games start tonight. So if you want to participate, you do have tickets. So they're upstairs in my attaché's office with Lizzie Kukla. Thank you.
Further debate or further announcements? Senator Hyder.
Mr. President, Senate Health and Welfare Committee meeting will be canceled today.
Senator Hill.
Mr. President, there will be a chairman's meeting at 12 noon today up in the Majority Caucus Room.
Further announcements? Senator Davis.
Mr. President, the pro tem, after hearing the announcement from Senator from 18, leaned over and said to me that it is his observation that he knows that senators outside of Ada County perhaps were more serious-minded in preparing for the session rather than the competition. I move the Senate adjourn till the hour of 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Mr. President, I second the motion.
Been moved and seconded that the Senate adjourn till 10 a.m. tomorrow so you can, bill readers can all get all your bills read tonight. All in favor say aye. All opposed nay. The ayes have it. We are adjourned.
Amateurs, amateurs, amateurs.